Hey, what's going on, Who That Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Good morning to you. I know I'm doing this pretty early today, but thought that I would talk a little bit about the New Orleans Saints, man. I mean, it's a good day to talk about them. Didn't have a show last night, so I'm kind of energized and ready to talk about the black and gold, man. So know it's a little bit early. Normally I do shows like around 12 noon when I go live, but just wanted to do it early, man, to just talk about some of this New Orleans Saints news that's going on, some of the headlines that I've seen. I have to talk about Drew Brees today, man. We got to talk about Drew Brees. It's been a while since I really had a topic on Drew Brees, man. It seems like we talk about everything on the State of the Saints podcast besides Drew Brees, but we have to remember that, the Saints still have one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. And he's really been putting in the work this offseason, man. According to sources, he, along with his strength and conditioning coach, they've been working on Drew Brees' arm strength, man. This is what he's been working on. This has been a topic of conversation for the last couple years. It hasn't been a show that I've done that I don't see at least one question about Drew Brees' arm strength. So I have to talk about that, man. I have to talk about Drew Brees and some of the work that he's putting in. Now, I'm pretty sure by now, if you checked it out on the State of the Saints podcast Facebook page, or you probably checked it out on social media, you've seen Drew Brees throw the ball down the field, okay? We seen him throwing the ball down the field, looking extremely accurate. Drew Brees looking like he in peak condition, for a 41-year-old quarterback, going into his 19th or 20th season, you know what I'm saying? So Drew Brees is looking pretty doggone good with that deep ball. But, there's a lot of people out there that's saying, can he do this, throughout the entire season? And will the Saints have explosive plays? Because for years now, it seems like the New Orleans Saints have been nickel and diamond, penny and coordinate down the field, and has not really they have not had many explosive plays. Now, I think with Drew Brees, I think we all can agree that Drew Brees is not the quarterback that he was back in 2009, 2010, especially throwing the ball down the field. When you've seen classic passes from Brees to Devery Henderson, or Brees to Robert Meacham, or Brees to Joseph Morgan, or, you know what I'm saying, like all these different deep threats. So the question is, what happened to it? Well, I mean, Father Time is undefeated, Who That Nation. I mean, it's just plain and simple. Father Time is undefeated. And for those that are up there in age, you know that you're not the same person that you were. You don't have the same athleticism you had when you were in your 20s or even in your late teens. So, I mean, time changes, man. And Drew Brees has to adapt to that. Drew Brees has to adapt to the fact that he doesn't have that same arm strength. So he has to make up for the lack of arm strength in other ways. And he has. I mean, Drew Brees has been one of the most accurate quarterbacks in NFL history, if not the most accurate, if you want to talk about it from an analytical standpoint. He is. Drew Brees does not throw the ball down the field anymore, but he still gets the ball where it needs to be. And I think that the Saints offense kind of, started to cater to Drew Brees' lack of arm strength, because we actually seen it when you were going up against Teddy Bridgewater. We saw that, right? Like when Teddy Bridgewater was in for the first 5 weeks of the season, we seen Teddy Bridgewater come in, and, there still wasn't many explosive plays. And we still asking the question, why don't the Saints have explosive plays, and what's going on with that? I mean, but I just think that the New Orleans Saints offense is catered to the intermediate routes. They're catered to the short nickel and dime plays. Not much explosiveness is going on with the, inside the New Orleans Saints organization. So I think that's very, very important for people to, understand. But I do think that the Saints are going to try to change it up for the especially since they have two quarterbacks on the roster that can actually get the ball down the field. We've seen a little bit of that when Taysom Hill was quarterback out there for the in that Minnesota game. In a wild card round, we've seen him throw the pass to Deontay Harris. And we also know that Jameis Winston is on the roster. So now that Jameis is on the roster, we now understand fully that the Saints can throw the ball down the field because we know that Jameis Winston, his issue isn't throwing the ball down the field, it's turning over the football. So I do believe that the Saints are going to try to change it up. And I do feel like the Saints are going to implement both of these quarterbacks in some way, shape, or form throughout the season. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be to a point where it's going to completely throw off the rhythm of Drew Brees being the starter of the Saints. I don't think it's going to be anything like that at all. I do feel like it's going to help the offense because the defense that goes up against the Saints won't know, how to scheme against them. They don't know if Taysom Hill is going to come in the game, throw the ball down the field, or he's going to do RPOs, or if Jameis Winston is going to come in the game and be a decoy. So I do think the explosive plays are going to come. And I'm very interested to see if Drew Brees is going to be able to throw the ball down the field consistently. I see him, like I said, it seems like he's been working on his upper body strength. He looks a little bit bigger, in the arms and in traps and stuff like that. So seems like he's really, really looking at trying to press the ball down the field. I think we've seen over the last couple of years, man, Drew Brees throwing the ball down the field. It looked like a glorified punt. I mean, I didn't know if Drew Brees was out there or if Thomas Morstead was out there, but Drew Brees seems like he wants to work on it. And that goes to show you the type of professional that Drew Brees is, the type of human being that Drew Brees is, that he's never satisfied. Drew Brees can easily rest upon his laurels saying that he's the quarterback that took a struggling franchise like New Orleans Saints and made them legitimate. He already knows he's going to the Hall of Fame after those 5 years after he retires. And he has every stat that you can think of from a quarterback standpoint. He's the leader in. But Drew Brees still wants to get better at the age of 41. I think he understands that he wants to get another Super Bowl ring. And I think he understands also, man, that Drew Brees is in a very precarious position. Yes, Drew Brees is one of the all-time greats, but there's still arguments out there that will keep him out of the top 10. And if Drew Brees just hanging on statistics in the NFL that we're in right now, I mean, Drew Brees, he's not going to be able to hang on that for long. The fact that you can't really go after a quarterback, the fact that you can't go at their knees, and all of the rules basically caters to the quarterback, you know that guys are going to be throwing for 5,000, even 6,000 yards one day. And Drew Brees, some of those stats that we hold near and dear to us in the Who Dat Nation, most likely are not going to be there anymore because people like Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson and all these new age quarterbacks that got all these rules catered to them will be able to surpass them. So Drew Brees really going to have to cement his legacy by possibly winning another Super Bowl and really going out there putting forth the best effort possible, man. So the Saints going to have to get it done. The window is closing. And Drew Brees, he doesn't know how many opportunities he's going to have, that he's going to have to be the starter or he's going to be playing in the National Football League. So it's best for him to make the best out of these situations. Special shout out to everybody in the chat right now. I'm going to take a few questions. Julia says, do you think Brees is working on his arm strength due to the acquisition of Emmanuel Sanders? I think it has something to do with it, Julius. I think that Emmanuel Sanders is an incredible downfield threat, but I also think that people don't give him the credit for being a crisp and really good route runner. I think no matter how Drew Brees plays the game, Emmanuel Sanders will be able to adapt to it because that's the type of player that he is. I think when people see Emmanuel Sanders, they just think of a downfield threat, but that's not all he possesses, man. I mean, he can run the route tree just as well as Michael Thomas can. You know what I'm saying? I just think that he's a little bit faster than Michael Thomas is, but I still think that he does some really great things when it comes to the route running, and I don't think that it's going to affect him at all. But I just think that Drew Brees just wants to get better at what he's doing. Latrell says, you, Jerry, my Who Dat brother. Man, what's going on? I think Jerry Poor is in the chat. Thank you very much, Jerry. Keith Mason says, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Can we expect better performance from Kamara? He looks like he put on some mass. Well, I think you're going to see better performance out of Alvin Kamara due to the fact that Alvin Kamara was hurt most of the season last year. He was dealing with a quad as well as a knee and ankle injury. So I think that kind of messed him up, and I think that, him gaining weight kind of helps him, as far as like take the wear and tear. I mean, he came into the league around 215 pounds, so he probably bulked up to about 220, gained about 5 pounds of muscle. And I think that's going to help him, man. I don't think that is going to hinder him in any way, shape, or form. I mean, the things that kind of helped Alvin Kamara really wasn't his speed; it was his balance and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that him gaining weight and also, being a little bit of a more power runner will make him last longer in the season, and take the wear and tear. What do you think about Benny Fowler? I really don't know that much about Benny Fowler. I mean, I know he played majority of his career in Denver. He had like 2 years in New York. And but at the same time, I still think that he's a good wide receiver. I think he's really, really talented. But I just think that he never really just got a full chance. I mean, when you're playing in Denver and what I'm saying, you got Demarius Thomas on the team, you had Emmanuel Sanders. I mean, you kind of had to get in where you fit in. But I mean, he has a really strong shot of making the team. I mean, he's a seasoned veteran. I mean, the game is slowed down for him, and I mean, coming to a Saints offense, I don't see why not. I don't see why you wouldn't try to put your best foot forward to try to do the best that you can in order for you to, make it happen. So I think he has a great opportunity to make the team. I don't think that the wide receiver group is just that, far gone and that just insurmountable to the fact that he can't make the team. I mean, it's a possibility, a very strong possibility. Williamson needs to get with Drew Brees and Alvin Kamara for some season fitness tips. Yeah, I mean, people have been talking about Zion Williamson. They're talking about his weight and everything like that. I understand that. I get it. But at the same time, I mean, he's still a really good player, and I think he'll get it together, man. I mean, he's a kid. He's like 19 years old, man. He's wide-eyed, bushy tail right now. He's a rookie. I mean, a lot of people just talking about him and stuff like that, man. He's the future of the NBA. So I think he'll catch on. I think he'll become better. I don't think that's going to be an issue. No problem. I don't think it's going to be a problem. I mean, he's still out there being a force, and he's only going to get better once he gets his strength and conditioning down. TJ, my brother, how you and the fam made it through the tropical storm? Kai, well, everything was good down here. I mean, it was just a lot of wind, more so than rain. And, it knocked down like some trees and stuff like that in some areas and South Carolina flooded, but it wasn't like around where I stayed, so everything's good. But I think that Drew Brees, as far as him being a downfield threat, I think that's going to be something that's worth watching. And I also want to see if the Saints are going to be utilizing other quarterbacks as well. And I just really feel like I think they're going to use both Jameis Winston and they're going to be using Taysom Hill, but probably Taysom Hill more than Drew Brees. I mean, not Drew Brees, but Jameis Winston, because I feel like because Taysom can do so many other things, I think he kind of beats out Jameis. And not to mention, it's going to take Jameis some time in order for him to develop the playbook, So I just think that he's going to get on the field, but it's probably going to be like a few small packages for him or something like that. Do you feel Jared Cook will have a great year? Yeah, I think he's going to have a great year. I think Jared Cook had a great year last year. I just think that at the beginning of the season, he was hurt. When he was hurt, he was dealing with a knee injury. And also, it was the chemistry between he and Drew Brees that kind of stunted that because he was hurt. But as y'all seen, when the chemistry started to come on, you seen Jared Cook act a plumb fool, like, you seen him in that 49ers game, which I feel like they didn't have an answer for him. If he would have stayed in that game, the Saints would have won, and they probably would have won pretty big. He is a really good red zone threat, and he is not afraid to go and get the ball. You know what I'm saying? He will put himself in harm's way in order for him to get the football. And I know y'all seen them catches that he made, one in particular, versus the Carolina Panthers. I knew y'all saw that one when he grabbed that one-hand snag, you know what I'm saying, between, two defenders. And also, man, that play even that gave him the concussion against the 49ers, you know what I'm saying, where I can't think of the cornerback name, but anyway, man, when that guy hit him, man, I mean, he left his feet, man, and left himself exposed. So that goes to show you what type of player that he is, man. He's a special guy. He's a special tight end, and I think that the Saints are lucky to have him. And hopefully, man, they can actually get a Super Bowl, you know what I'm saying, while they can still, acquire him and why he still has something left in the tank. I mean, he is like 31 or 32 years old, so you don't know how many explosive plays he has left in the tank. And I feel so bad for Jared Cook because, man, he is too good as a tight end to have moved around so many times in his career, man. I mean, this guy went to like 4 or 5 teams. I think we started off in Tennessee, from Tennessee to Green Bay, from Green Bay to I think he even played for I think he played from Tennessee to the Rams, from the Rams to Green Bay, from Green Bay to Oakland to the Saints. And this guy's been like one of the best tight ends in the game, man. I mean, even I could think of Jared Cook making plays. I think in a game against the Dallas Cowboys, and I think it was in a divisional round when they played against the Packers. You know what I'm saying? When Aaron Rodgers drew that ball down the field and he made that crucial catch, man, to set up that Mason Crosby field goal. I mean, Jared Cook been doing it for a long time, man, and not to mention he was a bright spot out there in Oakland, man. When they were struggling, man, he was the best receiver on the team. He led the team in receptions and yards. So from a tight end position, man, that's pretty special. So I think that the Saints really have something in Jared Cook. I think that Jared Cook is going to be a force this season, and I'm looking forward to seeing him fully healthy. And I'm looking forward to seeing him alongside Adam Trotman and also, Josh Hill, like these tight ends, man. I think these guys can really do something. Drew Brees has what he hasn't had in a very long time. He has two tight ends that can catch and, stretch the field. It's been a while since Drew Brees had something like that. I think you have to go back with David Thomas and Jeremy Shockey or something like that the last time Drew Brees had this going on. So it's going to be very special to watch, man, and I think it's going to help with the explosive plays. If Adam Trotman can come in and be a force, Jared Cook can come in and be a force, man. I'm telling you right now, man, it's going to be hard for defenses to be able to scheme against the Saints because if Jared Cook were to require a double team and if Adam Trotman come in and he making noise, or, who going to guard like Michael Thomas? Who going to guard Emmanuel Sanders? Who going to get these guys one-on-one? So, those guys are going to win their matchup. Let me see. I seen you waving back at you. Nah, man. Nah, Joe. Actually, the station manager, he just came in. I was waving at him from the glass. So that's why I was waving at. I ain't losing my mind. Let's see. Is this make or break time for Tre'Quan Smith? Yeah, absolutely, man. This is definitely a make or break year for Tre'Quan Smith. Tre'Quan Smith gonna have to step it up, man. He gonna have to step it up and really perform at a high level if he think he's going to keep his job, man. I mean, we've been waiting on Tre'Quan Smith to step up for a very, very long time. It's been a while since we seen, Tre'Quan Smith actually do something in a Saints uniform. I mean, we have to go back to 2018, when he had that big game against the Eagles. I mean, he makes some tough catches, man, but it's just too few and far in between for us to really say that the light is coming on. I think we just waiting on him to really break out, but it seems like it's not going to happen. So he really has to make it happen, man, if he think he's going to keep his job. I don't think that it's set in stone. And, teams, around year 3, year 4, they really are making decisions about your career. And if you're not out there performing, they're thinking about possibly replacing you. So Tre'Quan Smith is definitely going to have to step it up if he thinks that he's going to, make this team, or even be a part of the rotation consistently. If Jameis Winston gets a good grasp of the playbook, do you think he can really make a push for the number 2 quarterback to Brees? Well, Julius, honestly, I think he already the number 2 quarterback to Brees. I just feel like the Saints are going to utilize Taysom Hill in multiple ways. So I feel like Jameis Winston is going to be the backup. You need a guy that's going to be on the bench that you can count on, after if Drew Brees goes down. It's kind of similar to what Teddy Bridgewater did. I think that we're looking at Jameis Winston possibly coming into the game and actually playing in the game because of Teddy Bridgewater. But you have to remember, man, Teddy Bridgewater only played 1 snap, and Minnesota called a timeout. That was that primetime game when they played the Vikings. So it wasn't like Teddy Bridgewater was on the field consistently. It was just the fact that Drew Brees went down and in came Teddy Bridgewater. Like, you got to keep that in mind, folks. So it's not like Jameis Winston is going to just be out there and, consistently play. The Saints are going to need a backup that can stay on the sideline with the clipboard. And if there's some trouble afoot, you know what I'm saying? If there's some trouble afoot, then, then he can come out there and, and finish up the game. So I don't think that Jameis Winston is going to play a lot. I think they may have a package or two for him, but I think you're going to see a lot more Taysom Hill and in the Swiss Army knife packages, and you're going to see Jameis Winston as the number 2 backup quarterback for the Saints. Robert Campbell says, who that? Shouts out to my mama. She's in the chat right now. Says, hi, dear. What's going on, ma? Jamaica Slater says, that part. I don't know what that part actually means. I know it means that you agree with something I said, but I appreciate that. Shouts out to D. Granger. Hey, TJ, great job, man. And where are you from? Thanks. Well, I was born and raised in New Orleans. I'm from New Orleans, man. Born, raised in the Ninth Ward of New Orleans. Went to Lorraine Hansberry Elementary School, Lorraine Hansberry Elementary, Charles J. Colton Middle, George Washington Carver High School, and I went to Douglas High School. Born and bred, true New Orleanian. No longer stay there. I stay in South Carolina now. I do radio out here in South Carolina, but I'm New Orleans through and through. Been a lifelong Saints fan since I can remember, So I'm really passionate about the team. Really love talking about the Saints. And D. Granger, I appreciate you being in the chat and checking out the show. Thank you so much. Chemo, what's going on with you, man? Kai says, since the signing of Nigel Bradham, does that take the Saints out of the David Clowney sweepstakes? Well, I'm not sure about that, Kai. I don't know what the Saints are thinking right now. I think as long as Clowney is out there, I think that the Saints are still in the sweepstakes. Hopefully, that's a question that we can possibly ask Mike Triplett when, I interview him. That interview is probably going to be out on Friday, so y'all check that out. I interview ESPN field reporter for the New Orleans Saints, Mike Triplett. So hopefully we can ask him that question. He can give us a definite answer on that. But as long as he's out there, I think that the Saints have a chance to get him. I'm just hearing a whole bunch of stuff, about Jadeveon Clowney, and I'm just wondering what's taking so long. What is he waiting on in order for him to get signed? I really don't know. It can't be about money, because if that was the case, he would have signed with the Cleveland Browns. I've heard the Jets. I heard the Rams. I heard the 49ers. I really don't know. So as long as he's out there, I think the Saints have a chance. And I don't see the reason why you wouldn't want to come to the Saints. And actually, make a run for the Super Bowl and actually boost your portfolio, man, because there's still a lot of unanswered questions about you. There's a lot of unanswered questions about you as a defensive player, never having double-digit sacks, never really finishing a 16-game season, always hurt, taking plays off. So why don't you come to the New Orleans Saints, help the defense actually be elite, and at the same time build your portfolio? If the Saints can't sign you back, you can go out here and name your price. So why not come to a contender? And why not, just up your stock by playing strong football and having a productive season? Colton Middle, I haven't heard of that in a way, man. Anyway, man, I went to AJ Bell and John Mack, but any tip, who to break in radio without a degree? You say how can you break into radio without a degree? That's simple, man, D. Granger. Man, you just put work in. You know what I'm saying? Like, start your own podcast. Just make sure that you're being consistent and be persistent. Hit up some of these radio stations and stuff like that. If they have like spots for like promotions or interns, that's a way to get your foot in the door. I started off here at 90.9 as a volunteer. I just came in and I just did some things that they asked me to do. And, eventually, I got an air shift. And from there, they offered me a position at Broadcasting Tech. And at the same time, I was working as a manager at a retail store. And then the retail store ended up going out of business, man. And after that, I just took a real, leap of faith. And I was like, I'm just going to start doing radio full time. So that's the reason why I started to do it. I just consistently, just, worked hard and, Started off, just doing podcasts and just building up my confidence and everything like that. So my best advice for you is just to make sure that, you just go out here, be consistent with podcasts, be persistent when it comes to these radio stations. Don't take no for an answer, you know what I'm saying? And just continue to work and press forward, so good luck to you. TJ, what Saints player do you see being traded before the season starts? I really don't see a Saints player being traded, man. I really don't. I don't see anybody on the Saints starting roster that I can see getting traded. The only person that I probably can think of that, the Saints can probably have on a trade block would be David Onyemata. But why in the world would you want to trade David Onyemata? I mean, he's really good, especially when it comes to stopping a run. You can also kind of trust him and hurrying a quarterback. So that's like the only person I would see that the Saints would even consider trading away. Besides that, I just think that the Saints probably going to roll with what they have. Those early cuts kind of give a feel of who they want and the real position battles. Yeah, that's true, man. I mean, most of the guys that came on or that got cut were guys that came later in the season. Like I said, Tommy Lee Lewis came late. Christian Hogan came late. Cumberlander, he was a guy that was on the practice squad. So none of these guys were really like, man, I can't believe the Saints cut this guy. Man, I can't believe this guy ain't playing. It wasn't much of a surprise at all that these guys end up getting cut. Most of these guys were camp bodies and just roster fillers. So I just think that the real true battle is going to take place in training camp with the squad they got now, and I'm looking forward to it, man. And may the best man win. Tyler Polk says, if you think about the Saints is the best fit for Clowney as far as his future goes. Yeah, I agree with that, Tyler. I agree that the Saints give him the best opportunity to win and also boost his stock. So. And not to mention, you don't have to worry about, possibly getting hurt because you'll be a part of the rotation. You won't just be a starter, you'll be a part of the rotation. So that kind of saves you. And, you don't have to worry about going out there, end up missing some games. So that'll help you stay healthy, stay fresh, and be ready to attack the quarterback. So why not? Humanity's Pain says, do you think the interior line ready for the NFC South D-line? That Drew weakness, we did not look so good in the playoffs due to a lot of pressure up the middle. Thank you very much, Humanity's Pain. Yes, I do feel like they're going to be ready for the NFC South. And the reason why is because they got faster in the interior, okay? Andrew Pete is still there, but you're going to have Eric McCoy or you're going to have Cesar Ruiz. See what I'm saying? You're going to have one of these guys. Most likely it's going to be Eric McCoy going to be at the guard position. And trust and believe, Eric McCoy is much faster than Larry Warford. The Saints end up getting rid of Larry Warford because they felt like Eric McCoy can move to the outside and play much better than Larry Warford did. I think the Saints are getting younger. I mean, come on, man. Like, this is like an embarrassment of riches on the offensive line. You have Armstead. You have Andrews Pete, who probably going to be the weak link or considered the weak link. Then you got Cesar Ruiz, a guy that didn't give up a sack in college at all. You got Ryan Ramczyk, who don't give up sacks at all pro. And you got Eric McCoy, who plays center. Okay, this guy played center as a rookie and was ranked among the top centers in the league. Like, give me a break, man. Like, do you people know how hard it is for a center, a veteran center to actually play the position? You got to call out different packages. You got to let them know where the blitz is coming. For this guy to play as well as he did, I have no doubts about Eric McCoy at all sliding to the guard position. If I was you as a Saints fan, I would be excited. Like, do you guys realize, like, this offensive line can stay together for a long, long time? You got two rookies right now. I mean, two young guys on rookie deals. You got Ryan Ramczyk, who probably, going to become the highest paid right tackle. He deserves it. You got Andrew Pete that's already signed. And you're going to have Teron Armstead, which I'm pretty sure, they're going to have to negotiate his contract, but he still has 2 years on his deal. Give me a break. Like, the offensive line of New Orleans Saints, like, it is unbelievable right now, man. Like, man, I'm so excited about this. This might be the best offensive line the Saints have had since the '09 season. Like, I think you ought to be excited about this offensive line, man, for real. Do you think Taysom Hill will ever get opportunity to be our starting quarterback? George, it's very simple. He does have an opportunity to be the starting quarterback of the Saints, but he has to go out there and prove it. Okay, nothing is going to be given to Taysom Hill. And I understand that people like Taysom Hill, and I like him too. Okay, what he actually brings to the team, he brings a spark. People like the way that he hustles. People like the way that he scraps, his grit, his never say die attitude, his ability and his willingness to do anything to help the team, rather it be tight end, special teams, being quarterback, being a running back, serving up popcorn, cotton candy, or whatever have you. Look, I get it, man. I respect the heck out of Taysom Hill. But at the same time, you know, you got to go out there and you got to prove it. Okay, you got to have that Pierre Thomas type attitude. For those that have been following the Saints for a while, you know what I'm talking about. No matter who came through, no matter what running back the Saints went go get signed into the organization, whether it was Lionel Hamilton, whether it was Mike Bell, whether it was Reggie Bush, whether it was Darren Sproles, it really didn't matter, man. Like, Pierre Thomas did his job, he did his thing. No matter who you brought in, he beat them out with hard work, dedication. So if Taysom Hill can follow the Pierre Thomas plan, as I call it, then he'll be okay. But nothing is going to be given to you. The Saints are going to try to find the best person at that position to lead the team after Drew Brees is gone, okay? If it's Taysom Hill, if he puts in the work, if he works hard, he works on his arm strength, he works on his accuracy, he works on his decision-making, then we might see him as the starting quarterback of the Saints. But there's so many unanswered questions about Taysom right now. Only 15 passing attempts. Okay, can he get the ball down the field consistently? Can he just be more than just a quarterback that just drops the shoulder? Can he be under center for an extended amount of time and not just for one or two plays where they don't know if he's going to run or pass? Can you be that guy? Can you read defenses? Can you call out where the mic is, where the Sam, where the wheel is? You know what I'm saying? Where the blitz is coming from, the left or the right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you can do all that, then yeah. But it's not going to be given to him just because he generates excitement on one or two plays. You got to earn it. Who are your surprise pick for roster spots? My surprise pick for roster spots probably would be Marquise Callaway. Juwan Johnson would be a long shot to me. As far as the running back position, if Dwayne Washington actually gets some snaps as a running back at the tight end position, you know, like I feel like Adam Trotman is probably going to start over Josh Hill, believe it or not. You know, I think that as far as the cornerback position, I think that you're probably going to have C.J. Gardner-Johnson starting in the nickel. I think you're going to have Malcolm Jenkins actually starting over Marcus Williams, believe it or not. And you know what I'm saying? I feel like you're going to see somebody like DJ Swearinger playing a nickel. I think you're going to see guys like that, you know, guys that you normally see at the safety, or, you know what I'm saying, they're going to be playing nickel corners. And I think that Marcus Williams is actually going to be in rotation. You know, I really feel that way. I think that Malcolm Jenkins is going to get the start over him, believe it or not. Do you feel the bubble that Sean is trying to create will work for us? I feel our locker room, they've been together for some years, kind of have an advantage in a sense. Chemo, well, I don't think that the bubble is really designed for camaraderie and chemistry. I think the bubble is designed to keep these guys safe and make sure that they don't contract COVID-19. The Saints were one of those lucky teams, Chemo. They were one of those teams that were 0%, COVID. You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't have anybody on the team that contracted COVID-19. And I think Sean Payton wants to keep it that way. I mean, it's no surprise that, I'm pretty sure some of you may have heard Sean Payton's press conference where he was very upset and he was very frustrated about some of these off-season schedules and how it's working. So he doesn't want a guy to go out there, be irresponsible, contract COVID-19, bring it back to the team, and then you're already behind the 8 ball when it comes to conditioning. You're already behind the 8 ball when it comes to reps. You're already behind the 8 ball when it comes to where you're supposed to be when it comes to training camp at this particular time. So why press back or push things back by having somebody come in, contracting COVID-19, getting the team sick, and that's somebody that have to be out and starting their growth and pushing them back for a couple of weeks where they can't have the opportunities to get reps. So I think it's a smart decision by Sean Payton. But, I mean, there are going to be some guys. I mean, this is not college football. These aren't guys that are young, staying in dorm rooms. These are guys that got families. I mean, you think about punter Thomas Morstead. I mean, he got 4 kids, man. Drew Brees, he's a father of 4. Teron Armstead, he has 3 kids. I mean, these guys are parents, man. These guys are fathers. So the being away from their kids the extended amount of time like that, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to take their toll. Take its toll on them, man. I mean, I understand how it is in the NBA, but the NBA, in my opinion, is a little bit more controlled because it's not that many bodies on each team. But I have to applaud Sean Payton for at least trying to make things better for the squad. But I do think it's going to be hard for them, you know what I'm saying, to be able to consistently keep guys inside of that bubble, especially when you have guys that have responsibility as parents. And, you know, Thomas Morstead already said, he said, I'll try to heed to Sean Payton's, rules and stuff like that. But at the same time, you know, I have to tend to my family. So as long as they're being responsible, I like the move by Sean Payton, but I'm pretty sure guys going to have to leave for family issues every now and then. Mike Randall says, run the ball. Reggie Clark says, make the move for Clowney. I know our cap is problematic. Well, I think that Clowney is probably trying to be a mercenary. I think he's going to be a mercenary player. And what I mean by mercenary player is a guy that goes to the highest bidder, or the guy that goes to the team that benefits him better. And I think that Jadeveon Clowney, his best bet is to come to the Saints. But if he's acting for a substantial amount of money, you know what I'm saying, I don't feel like the Saints need to move heaven and earth to get him. Would he be beneficial to the team? Absolutely. I do believe that. But I don't feel like at this stage that Jadeveon Clowney is one of those guys that I just feel like is going to be an earth changer or a world changer for the New Orleans Saints. I think that he'll come in, he'll do a good job, he will contribute, but I don't feel like it doesn't seem like it was like when Reggie White left the Eagles to play for the Packers. Like, that was huge right there back in '94. Okay, it's not like that. You know what I'm saying? It's not like anything like that or what I seen. You know what I'm saying? It's not like when Jared Allen, you know what I'm saying, when he went to the Vikings. It's nothing like that. You know, it's not like, you know what I'm saying, he's just going to change the world. This is a guy that never had double-digit sacks. And keep in mind, folks, this guy played with J.J. Watt, one of the best defensive ends in the past decade, and you still couldn't generate double-digit sacks. So keep this in mind. J.J. Watt was pretty much getting double-teamed every play, and you still couldn't win your one-on-one matchups. And not to mention, he never really stayed healthy. So even though I like him, I think that he would be a guy that can come in and contribute. I don't think that you just need to move heaven and earth for him. I mean, it's too many unanswered questions. And if you don't believe me, just ask yourself this question. Why is he still out there? Why teams didn't just grab him up when he wanted a certain amount of money? Wouldn't teams be like, well, you know what I'm saying, we got to get this guy in the building. Nobody has done it yet. So, I mean, we got to keep that in mind. Humanity Spain say, I think we still need another cornerback on the back end of our defense. Other than that, I think our defense will be dope. What you think? I think that they do need some depth at the cornerback position. I think that they need somebody that can come in and be a guy that can play on the inside and outside. I mean, I've been lobbying for that for a very long time. So I do think they need some help in that regard. But I think they should be okay, man. As long as guys stay healthy and as long as they have some guys that can come in and have a decent training camp. I'm going to read one more, and then I'm going to have to get up out of here, man. I got a conference call in 5 minutes. It says, do you think Sean Payton will stop getting cute and run reverses in the red zone this season? No, I don't. I think that Sean Payton is going to be Sean Payton. Sean Payton is going to Sean Payton no matter what. You know, like, so I just think that we just gotta roll with it. You know what I'm saying? Sean Payton is who Sean Payton is. But I do think that Sean Payton needs to commit to the run, and I think that he needs to control the time of possession, and he needs to understand that in order for the Saints to be successful, they're going to have to be balanced, and they just can't rely on Drew Brees throwing the ball all over the place, even when you have a 2-touchdown lead. But I want to say thank you to everybody that chimed in. Thank you very much for making the State of the Saints podcast a part of your morning. And I want to say thank you to everybody that has been supporting the State of the Saints podcast. Man, we are moving forward. This week on the State of the Saints podcast, we have Mike Detillier. You probably know him, for being on the second guest show on WWL with Bobby Hebert. You know him as being a college football scout and also talking to New Orleans Saints, man. So he's going to be on the show. Also, ESPN National Saints reporter Mike Triplett will be on the show this week as well. And next week, man, the biggest guest in the State of the Saints podcast history, we have Super Bowl champion, right tackle, man, voice of the New Orleans Saints, Zach Strief will be on the State of the Saints podcast, so you do not want to miss that. I'm talking to him right now. We're working on the actual day that he's going to come on the show, but I can guarantee you he will be on the show next week. So be sure that you keep it locked right here to the State of the Saints podcast. I have you up to date on which day we're going to have Zach Strief on the show. But thank you all so much for making the State of the Saints podcast what it is. A lot of people have been out here and been supporting the State of the Saints podcast since day one. A lot of you already know, what the State of the Saints podcast is all about. We've been out here, grinding for a very long time. And we're just getting started, man. And I owe it all to you all with your love and your support consistently, helping me put out content, viewing the content and supporting me. And I really do appreciate that. So all the credit goes to you all, man. It has very little to, what I have to bring to the table, in my opinion, So I appreciate you all's love and support. And for those that, just tuning in, just checking out the State of the Saints podcast, hopefully, you consistently roll with us and consistently, continue to watch the podcast and help us grow and help us, contribute to the success of the podcast. So you all have a great day. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com, search The State of the Saints podcast, facebook.com, search The State of the Saints podcast, and the audio version is available on iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio.com. Till next time, all I got to say is, who dat?